Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Today I'm going to talk about focus and how that leads to better art and how you can get yourself to be more focused. Because I've seen that make people better almost more than anything. So I do want to talk about that and, for the next maybe 5-10 minutes. And I'm just going to doodle something so that you're not bored with this marker. Actually, no, not with this marker. I'm going to use a pen. So, I want to talk to you about something. When I see a lot of people pulled down by emotions, I see that incredibly so. It's not just the skill that you have, right? It seems to be the mindset I noticed that really goes into this particular skill, and every skill for that matter. Being focused is kind of putting aside those emotions and just acting on instinct, training, moving forward without hesitation. You see that a lot within sports. A book I just read recently, it's called, I believe it's called, I forget what it's called, Relentless, by Timothy S. Grover. And he was the coach of Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players of all time. And the stuff he talks about there applies to art as well. So I'll give you a couple of examples. When I was doing art, when I first started, I started about 18 years old. I was progressing really quick, like really, really fast. And I thought, wow, only in a couple of years, I'm going to be exactly where I want, and it's going to be awesome. What happened? I started progressing very quickly the first couple of weeks, and then it just hit this point where I could not push through. I hit this plateau. I could not push through it, and I didn't know what to do, and I was stuck there for 2 years. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold. So, what could I have done differently? I think a lot of it was self-doubt. That self-doubt crept in, and I let it define myself, and I just didn't focus. It was all about getting the kind of drawing done, just getting it done and having that, than it was about learning to enjoy the process. And that is a big part of it. Try to enjoy what you're doing. You're not always going to enjoy drawing, especially if you're drawing like non-stop. I draw maybe 5 hours a day now, and it's more just like what I do. I don't feel a high or a low. It's just what I do. It's it's obviously more good than bad, otherwise I wouldn't do it. And I do enjoy it, but it's not. It's just instinctual. It is. I've done it so long. It's an instinct, and you put it in there, and I do it without thinking. No, I don't mean like without thinking about the structure or anything. I do have to think about that still, but I mean I don't hesitate to actually practice. If I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, I don't go, oh man, I have to pull out my pencils, and then I have to find a place to do it. I have to find a desk that's well lit, and blah 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 blah. It turns into a bunch of little tasks to do, and it can seem kind of like a chore, overwhelming. That's not my thought process. I actually have almost no thought when I start. I'm just like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Oh, where's the pencil? Okay, which pen? All right, cool. What am I drawing? Okay, cool. And I just start it, and then I autocorrect as I'm doing it, right? Depending on what you're doing. If I'm just doodling for myself, I'm just auto-correcting as I go. And I've said this many, many times before. A drawing is just a series of mistakes that you're correcting along the way. You have to put something down in order to move it. Excuse me. You have to put something down in order to kind of move it around and play with it and move it to the right position, because shapes are being moved around, and like proportions change through the drawing that you're creating all the time, right? Does he have a big neck? Does he have a small neck? So I'm thinking about the process, but in terms of just starting and moving forward, there's like no thought about moving forward. I'm just doing it. Oh, okay, I'll find a way around that. Oh, okay, I'll find a way around that. Oh. And I've seen that separate people from mediocre to, being stuck in one place for many, many years. I've seen people stuck there, and I've seen people move on, and that's one of many, little differences that I see. It's that mindset. They're just wrapped up in this emotional thing, like, oh my God, if if I could just draw this, then everyone would love me, and I'd prove to myself that I could do this. And like, who cares about that stuff? Who cares? Just do it. Just do what you want. Do what you want to do it. Just do it. Practice it. Who cares about like why? Don't think about that stuff. I've seen that with I dance. I do salsa dancing, and I see it there also. Some people are like, oh, if I just learn this, then this will make me, make me cool and happy and blah, blah, blah. And there's all these external reasons, external motivations that they really don't matter. That's not going to drive you forever. What will drive you forever is the motivation should be doing it. And the actual drawing should be your motivation. It should be your fun time, your free time, your time to shine, your time to do something constructive, your time to meditate, whatever it is that it is for you. It should be yours. And if you do that, you're going to find yourself progressing leaps and bounds in ways you've never imagined, because that's what happened to me. I just stopped caring. I completely stopped caring about all the social junk around it, surrounding it. Oh, I got to get this. Oh, I got to do it to this level. Oh, I got to, I forgot all about that stuff. You use that stuff, of course, to motivate you a little bit, but when you rely on that as a sole motivation, it's going to run out. It will run out. Maybe your motivation is to just create cool things. That's a good one. I just want to create something cool for myself and just awesome. And yeah, people will look at it. That's awesome too, But find what it is for you. Everybody kind of has a different reason. Find out what drives you, and it's gonna really help you out. It'll help you practice more. It'll help you just kind of be more fluid in your line work. It'll help you be like, oh, okay, that's a mistake. All right, well, like you don't just make a mistake and go, oh no, I suck. Don't do that. You make a mistake and you're like, okay, I'm gonna work on that. Okay, I'm not good at hair. I'm gonna work on hair. So you do like 100 little pages or 100 little circles, and start drawing hairdos from pictures until you can relatively draw it well and figure it out. Watch hair drawing tutorials. I believe I have a hair drawing tutorial on here. But that's it. What can cut your time in half? I can tell you what cuts your time in half in terms of learning. Having someone that's on the same road as you, just further ahead. That will help you. Having a mentor of some kind, having someone online look at your work and being like, you are doing this wrong. Every time. Change that. And then you're slowly going to start changing that habit. You'll still probably do it on accident, but you'll slowly start changing that habit. And that's the key to getting better. And that habit might have been there for like the next 2 years, and you would have not noticed it until someone else pointed it out. That's why it's just invaluable to have someone around you like that. Find someone in your area. Find anyone online. I also provide that on my Patreon. If you were to go visit my Patreon, if you're interested in that. If not, that's cool. What else? But yeah, I currently, for painting, excuse me, I'm coughing because I got a cold. Currently, for painting, I literally have someone online that I pay off of Patreon to look at my paintings and specifically go over painting things I'm doing wrong. Not so much structure and stuff, more like painting. It's a really specified thing, but everyone I know has kind of someone like that. They'll have a friend, an artist friend, and then they'll be like, hey, what's wrong with this? Just because they're good doesn't always mean they give great advice either, so be aware of that, because I've gotten some really lousy advice from amazing artists, and I'm just like, I can't, they don't know how to teach, per se, but they know their own thought process. But find that. Anyways, that was my rant. Focus, find your goal, find your passion, find out what drives you, and you're gonna zoom forward more, like, faster than you, like anybody that doesn't, because most people don't do this. Most people quit. And most people get frustrated, and most people get negative. Don't do any of that. That's it. Talk to you later, and I will see you guys in the next video. So hit that like, and I'm gonna put a link to the Patreon below, and a link to a really cool ebook, and the ebook is entirely based on shading. So if you want to learn to shade, I have a free ebook entirely. I'm going to put that in the description. So talk to you guys later, and I'll see you soon.